My name is Sai, and this is Happy Accident Studios. Insert funny logo and music here, except I don't think I will for this one. I am an American, as you might have guessed, but I live in sunny England, and there is rain pitter-pattering down on my window as we speak, which I'm hoping isn't coming through on the microphone. I've lived in this country for 18 years. It's been brilliant. I am a crafter, and the thing is, I know that a lot of crafty things come from America. And so everyone thinks, oh, she's crafty because she's been crafty ever since she left America. But it's actually not the case. I was more into my music and my theater and stuff like that when I moved to England. And I picked up rubber stamping because I got tired of how long my cross stitch projects were taking. And I said, you know what, I need instant gratification. And so I started to do other crafts that took a bit less time. And I'm mega into the paper craft. I love scrapbooking. I do a bit of crochet. I learned a little bit with my mom when I was younger, and I used to make just sort of little rectangular things. They ended up looking like trapezoids because my stitches would all go wrong and everything. And I never really took it any further. I just wanted to join in with my mom when she was doing things, and she showed me how to do that. So I put it to one side, just because, I couldn't think of anything to do with it other than make the odd rectangle. And then I thought I would take it up again when there was this upsurge in crochet magazines being available. I was scared to death of knitting. Just the thought of dropping a stitch and then having the whole thing unravel in front of your face, like I couldn't deal with that at all. And there were hundreds of knitting magazines out there, absolutely loads, but crochet, not so much. And then slowly the crochet magazines started coming in, and I did pick it up again. And I will show you a few of the things that I've made. But, not for today. Are you ready for show and tell? I'm ready for show and tell. Today, I am going to extol the virtues of Poundland. Oh yes, Poundland. That was a well-timed sound effect. It's my husband's computer. He's using it remotely from work, and it makes noise sometimes. Stop it! Anyway, at Poundland, everything is a pound, so I guess if I was back home in America, I would be talking about the dollar store. But I'm not talking about the dollar store. I'm talking about the pound shop, darling. The pound shop. Oh, by the way, they're not giving me any money to do this. I don't know why people are concerned about that, but believe me, they're not. Okay, but I noticed quite a few times when I was going in there that they have yarn. Now, it's not special yarn or anything like that. It's the typical, 100% acrylic. It even says it's for knitting. Well, I'm offended, all right, because I'm a crocheter, and this is just as good for us as it is for them. But never mind, eh? This is just 100% acrylic, ordinary, nothing special about it. Yarn, if you get it wet, it will probably bead up and roll off. Convenient, right? So I thought, well, what a great idea. But I couldn't think at the time. When you see the yarn, you're not thinking, I know, I'll buy exactly this many balls of this color and this many balls of that color, because I know exactly what I'm going to make with that. It just doesn't happen. But I happen to be trawling along Pinterest, because I love Pinterest. And you can find me on Pinterest at HapAx Studios. That's HAPAX Studios. If you want to see the weird things that I seem to take an interest in, you can have a peek. But I found a pattern that uses the colors that were in the pound shop at that very time. Now, I sound really excited about this because it never happens. I'm serious. If you see something in the pound shop that is useful to you, grab it. Grab it as soon as you see it. Don't think twice, because the thing is, next time you go in there, it's not going to be there anymore. It found a home that was just a little more enthusiastic about it. And it's being loved by someone else. So, if you see it, grab it. And that is what I did as soon as I saw that the colors matched my Pinterest project that I want to do. Oh, it's so exciting. So I saw the 3 for 2 label, Now, I have no idea. Oh, I've cast a shadow on myself. 3 for 2 label. I saw the 3 for 2 label. And I thought, okay, cool. 3 of these for £2. Not complaining. Good price, right? So I bought loads of it. I bought light blue, medium blue, and then there's this dark blue, sort of sparkly here. Look, it's sparkly. And I bought a nice sort of buttery, creamy, sort of ivory color. So I ended up at the till, at the checkout, with 21 balls of yarn, which means that when I get home, I have to find a place to store 21 balls of yarn. What to do with all these little tiny balls of yarn? Well, I decided that I would take each color and line up all the balls of yarn, all the little balls of yarn, and I would start winding it. I'm fumbling over here. I want to get something. I want to show you something. And I made it into a yarn baby. It's cute, isn't it? It's a yarn baby. It's huge. It's actually bigger than my head. Oh, except that it's not bigger than my head. Is my head really that big? Okay. So anyway, I did that with the pretty, buttery, creamy color. Vanilla. And I did it with the light blue, baby blue. So I got the baby blue and the vanilla babies. And now I need to do that with the medium blue babies. So I've got to make a baby out of all of these. I've got 6 of these. And so I thought what I would do is I would just, incidentally while I'm here, I would explain to you what goes into that and, stuff like that. First of all, you might be asking me, why would you make a big baby out of 6 balls of yarn? When I'm working on a project, I hate having to stop and change the yarn when I've run out. It never happens in a good place, and I need to keep the flow going. So that's why I put all of it in here. And also, if I really wanted to sort of weigh it and find out if I've got enough for the project, I could just plop that on the scale. Boom. And see how much I've got left after all the crocheting I'm going to be doing. Anyway, the anatomy class is about to begin. Are you ready? This is a factory rolled ball of yarn. Now it's got 2 ends to it. It's got the roly-poly end, and it's got the sticky outy end. Okay, I will explain this. This end is on the outside of the yarn. Do you see that? If this label wasn't here, it would start unraveling, and if you pull it, the yarn would like roll all over the place. Yeah, that's not the end I like to work with, so I keep it tucked away. Not inside the ball. Bad idea. Don't tuck it inside the ball. Leave it out of the ball. Okay, the other bit, the other end, is inside. And I might be quite lucky because here it is. And it just pulls out straight. Woo! Pulling it. Yay! It just pulls out like that in a straight line from the inside of the ball. And sometimes it pulls out a little chunk with it. Oh, here it comes. Here it comes. See, sometimes it pulls out a little chunk with it, but that's okay because it's not really tangled. Look, watch. You just keep separating it. And oh, there, see? No knots. So I really like this end. This is my favorite end to work with. And what I'm going to do is when I make my giant yarn baby, when it's time to use it, it pulls from the middle, just like this, right? Now, in order to start your own yarn baby, you need to grab the yarn like this, and then you stick out your 2 fingers like that. I'm not making a gangster gesture at you right now. This is how it works, right? And you figure 8 it around your fingers like this. Just a few times. You don't have to do it a lot. And then you pinch it. You see that? You just pinch it. Get your fingers out of there. And then you just kind of fold that in half. Now what I then do is I wrap the yarn around my thumb like this, just to make, just basically to tie the thing onto your thumb like that, but not too tight. You can't wind this very tight. It's not a good idea, right? Once you've got a good amount around your thumb like that, then take it off like that. And what I like to do is sort of pinch the little loopy ends that are sticking out and get them out of the way. All right, and I'm still holding on with my little fingers here. I'm holding on to that end because you don't want to lose the end. If you lose the end, you got to start all over again, and it's not pretty. So I just start winding around like this, and I just turn it a little bit as I wind like this, and then bear with. I will show you what happens if you just gently turn it as you're wrapping it. What you will end up with eventually is a little ball. This is your loose end from before, and it's just, if you pull that, it'll all come out. So what you now do is you just continue to wrap this round and wrap it around. Keep it turning. And this is still quite nicely just coming out of the end of this yarn ball. Eventually you will have slight, you'll get a funny shape eventually. If you just keep doing this exactly this way, you'll start to get sort of a cone shape with a little sort of pointy bit on the bottom. And what you need to do is just get a feel for it, and eventually, I'm not doing anything untoward down here, honestly. You will eventually just get a shape. You get a feel for it, and see how it's kind of pointy down at the bottom? Eventually, you start wrapping it a slightly different way. You go like around, almost like an orbit, if you just turn the orbit to the side a little bit. So you're going from sort of the top right to the bottom left and around. And then as you do that, you keep that angle the same, and you slightly turn it. Every few wraps or so, you just turn the ball. But you keep that angle the same. And what eventually happens is it turns into what I would call an apple shape. Which means it will eventually have a flatter bottom on it, and you'll be able to stand it up just like my lovely yarn baby does. It just stands on its end and waits for me to crochet with it. So that's lovely. Right, so you continue on in that way. And then you just basically use a typical square knot at the very, very ends to attach the end of this to the beginning of your next one. And you just keep going until you're done and you have a big yarn baby like this. Aww. Cuddly. Well, I hope that was useful information for you. I have been Sai. This has been Happy Accident Studios. You can find me on Twitter at HapX Studios, and just the way I spelled it before. Pinterest as well, and also Instagram. And that's all I've got for you for now. Very nice to meet you, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye!